I'm James Cridland, the radio futurologist.
Well, what have you just put on your head?
Yes.
Well, actually, no, I'll rephrase that. What have you just put on your head?
Try to listen to the new season of Fortunately, a podcast from the BBC, and you'll be told you can't.
We should be here because we used to be here, but we're not here anymore.
Fortunately is a show that the BBC produces which never makes it onto the radio. Instead, it follows the same genre as many podcasts do. Two friends chatting over a coffee with a special guest. The friends in this case are Fee Glover and Jane Garvey, two broadcasters who share the same kind of humour. The podcast itself is recorded in the coffee shop in the BBC Piazza, the public space outside the BBC's gleaming broadcasting house in central London. Last year, the BBC launched a new smartphone app.
BBC Sounds.
Called BBC Sounds, it contains bespoke content like this, as well as radio shows on demand and live, and some music mixes. Mistakenly, the app was launched before it had reached feature parity with its predecessor, BBC iPlayer Radio. It's also not available outside the UK, and it's not doing very well in the reviews. BBC Sounds requires listeners to register before they can listen, just like Spotify. And this offers personalisation opportunities, one would assume, but it also means that the BBC have been focusing on how to increase what's known in technology circles as the MAU, the number of monthly active users, believing that this is a key performance indicator of the success of the app. The drive for a higher MAU number isn't by itself a bad thing. Along with measuring the overall time in app, which should similarly increase, it's an important measure of how successful the app is. However, it's a fine line between encouraging listeners to use the app and bullying them to. Which brings us back to Fortunately, which started a new season this week, but you'll not be able to listen to it on anything other than the BBC Sounds app. The podcast has been withdrawn from all other podcast apps and replaced with a rather plaintive message.
Fortunately, is now available exclusively on the BBC Sounds app.
Good business sense, you might be thinking, which is a valid point of view, except what business is the BBC actually in? Its core area of expertise is making great radio and TV shows. Further, its money comes in the main from the UK's licence fee payers, who've already paid for this programme to be made. And the most important measure of success for the BBC, surely, is how many people consume and enjoy its programmes. And to that end, withdrawing programmes from other platforms is short-sighted. There's a limit to how many apps people will install, and while pulling shows into your old walled garden might be a strategy for some, audiences should really be drawn to your app because it's really good. It offers great recommendations and works brilliantly. If you need to bully audiences to install a new app by taking things away from them that they've already paid for anyway, well, maybe you're doing it wrong. You can get my weekly newsletter at james.crid.land and daily podcast news at podnews.net. And until next time, keep listening. Now, on the Radio Today programme, here's David Lloyd.